Run the marketing department here at Art Storefronts. I've been doing that going on almost 7 years, I think. I feel like sometimes I say 7 years, sometimes I say 6 years. Whatever it is, it's been a long time. Um, so let's get into the agenda for today's show. So up top, I have a video I'm going to play. It's a video I recorded in one of these sessions a couple of weeks ago. It's better than if I would do it live. So I'll just play it, and then that'll give me plenty of horsepower for part two, which is the Q&A, which are your questions about where you guys are in your career, about anything that we do at Art Storefronts, about how we can help you. It can be about any digital marketing, art business, photography business related quandary that you might have. I run a ton of these, and I talk to more artists and photographers on a week in, week out basis than probably just about any human being alive. So I've heard it all, I've seen it all, and I want the session today to be valuable for you guys. So we'll start with the video. As the video's rolling along, if you look at the bottom of your Zoom window, there's a chat button. And so if you mouse over that thing, it pops out like a little chat box. If you've got questions as the thing rolls along, you can just throw them in there. And then when I get to the Q&A, it can answer those. Or a lot of times we'll answer them sort of as we're rolling through if you've got questions about things. From time to time, we'll also throw links in there. So if there's something we want you to click on, or maybe something to check out, a PDF, a report, a video, whatever it might be, a book, we can throw the links in there. And then in addition to that, once the whole thing's over, we'll send you an email to the email address that you registered through Zoom, and it'll be a replay of the session today. And then all of the links and PDFs and reports and everything that I mentioned will be in there. So if you don't want to click on anything or worry about it, you just want to pay attention, you can totally do that. So on that note, we'll get the video started, and I will see you guys on the other side for the Q&A. Looking forward to it. So go ahead, April. My name is Patrick. I run the marketing department here at Art Storefronts. Been doing that for about 6 years now. And that means I've been working on solving the problem that is, how do you sell art or photography by best leveraging marketing and digital marketing in particular. And it's an interesting problem to work on. There's not that many, art marketing agencies, for instance, right? Because it's a very, very hard problem to solve. Selling art and photography is not like selling every other item out there. A lot of tradecraft, a lot of nuance to it. In addition to that, I've been running 3 of these sessions since a little bit before the pandemic. So, year and a couple of months now. I don't believe that there's another human being on the planet that talks to more artists and photographers on a week in, week out basis. I have now at this point heard it all, seen it all, niche selection, pricing, sales, Facebook ads, branding, how to negotiate with the galleries, pricing, markup. I have heard and been through all of it over the last year. And in addition to that, we have like a little bit over 5,500 customers now. And one of the things that we do a great deal of is studying the ones that sell the best and studying quite in depth. For instance, who's capturing the most emails? How are they doing that? Excuse me. Who is the best on Facebook? Who is the best on Instagram? What are they posting? What kind of activity are they getting there? Who is selling the most art, period? Who is selling the most classes? Who is selling the most originals? Who's selling the most commissions? Metal prints, canvas prints. And you do all of that collectively. And why am I bringing all of this up? I think I can help you. I think today's Q&A after I'm done with the presentation can be insanely valuable. I think if you're struggling with something, I probably have a solution that can put you on the path. And I mean that in the biggest non-sales pitch way ever. I don't care if you ever do business with Art Storefronts, if you ever become a customer. I want the session to be valuable. I want to try to get you on a path to growing your art business to where you want it to be. I honestly believe that I can help you. So the Q&A will happen sort of after the presentation, and love for you to think about whatever questions you have, whether you've never sold your art before and you're just trying to get into it, whether you had robust sales pre-pandemic and the pandemic crushed you, whether you're struggling with a question of niche selection, what style should you be doing, or you're struggling with how to price your work, or you're struggling with how to get attention to your work, which, let's be honest, 100% of you guys are struggling with that. Every single solitary artist and photographer is struggling with that. But point being, have your questions ready, and we'll get into the Q&A after the fact. But I want to start with sort of this new concept that I've come up with, and I call it the art selling pyramid, okay? And I sort of stole it from Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I don't know if you've seen this pyramid, right? But in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, um, you've got the physiological needs at the bottom, right? And the concept of the pyramid is you have to sort the blocks on the bottom before you can even contemplate sorting the blocks on the top. And the physiological needs are first, right? We have to eat, we have to sleep, we have to do that daily. That has to happen every single solitary day before we can even contemplate working on safety and shelter and money. And then you go up the thing and it's love and belonging and esteem and self actualization. You can become a great person and all of that jazz. So let me give you the art selling pyramid, okay? Borrowed from Maslow. Same thing, pyramid, got to sort the bottom blocks, up we move. And the bottom block, the first block is attention. And I know, without equivocation, that every single solitary person on this Zoom call has an attention problem. What is attention? It is the eyeballs that you need to be able to sell your work. It is people knowing who you are, seeing your work, interacting with you. And we live in a, in a world right now where attention is the currency of the land. It's not dollars, it's attention. You have the attention, you can do anything. Without it, you're not in the game. Does the best art that's being created get sold? No. The best art that's being created that gets seen gets sold. And attention is every single solitary one of our problems. And just like in Maslow's pyramid, you have to sort it daily. You have to be working on getting more of it daily. It is no different than eating and sleeping. And I look at this little pyramid and, a perfect way for me to explain it. Do you know who some of the most powerful women, not just in the United States are, but in the entire world are? It's the Kardashians. You want to know why? They have attention, okay? Any one of those women, any of those surgically enhanced women could decide to start painting stick figures tomorrow and sell $35 million worth of art in the first year. Why? Because they have attention, okay? They understood what the currency of the land is. When you have the attention, you can do anything. Attention comes in two forms, rented and owned. Rented are YouTube subscribers and Instagram fans and Facebook followers, any social media followers you have on any of those sites. Why is it rented? It's rented because you don't own it. They can change the rules at any time. Still very important, but it's rented. The other kind of attention, the owned attention, really email addresses, most importantly. Secondarily, snail mail. And for some people that do text message marketing, it's phone numbers. But you have to work on building your attention day in, day out. It is a quotidian job. And ultimately, it's the biggest problem that every single solitary one of you on here have. Some of you think you have a website problem. Some of you think you have a pricing problem. Some of you think you have a problem negotiating with galleries. You can't even have any of those problems until you solve the attention problem. The attention problem is the whole ball game. And when you understand it, you start getting intentional. You start working at it. It is no different than eating and sleeping. What did you do to acquire more attention for your work today? If you're not working on that, then you can't even have any of the other problems. Next block, okay, after we solve the attention situation, we're working on it. It's a constant battle. It never ends. The outside of this block is number 1 and 2 here, and then I'm going to get into the block. Number 1 is the business model, okay? I believe that an artist or a photographer, if they want to build a successful business, has to understand the business model. The business model is selling direct, by which I mean you, the artist, the photographer, selling directly to your end customer. You retain the data on your end customer such that you are able to market to that customer in perpetuity. Many people, the way that the industry worked traditionally forever, was people that did not retain this information. They sold through galleries, or maybe they did the show in their circuit, but they weren't the best at keeping up with these people and marketing to them in perpetuity. I got this book that I cite all the time, and it's by Weiland. Weiland is the whale guy. Okay, and don't worry, I'm going to send you links to this. But he wrote this book. He sells it directly on his website. He's depending on who you talk to, he's the #1 selling artist in the entire United States, probably even the world, to be honest with you, because of his business model and what he's done. And he talks in that book about this concept called a collector list. Okay, and for Weiland, a collector list are buyers of his art that sell or that buy in upwards of 7+ pieces over the course of a lifetime, and he treats this collector list like VIP. They are his collectors might as well be staying in the Four Seasons. He reaches out. He gives them special access to things. He likes their social media posts, and he continues to build that list. Okay, and Fundamentally, it is one of the single solitary most important things any art or photography business can have. Collectors surf this, you market to them in perpetuity, your prices continue to go up, they go along for the ride. Some of these people will buy in upwards of 20 and 30 and 40 pieces throughout the course of your life. And if you are not building that list, it's sort of like you're working a job and you're not putting any money away in a retirement account. It's almost like a 401k that just pays every single solitary year. And I can go into some detailed examples, but the goal is you come out with a new series. You have a show, right? Whether it's a photographic series or it's the series that you painted. You'll start out, and your collector list will maybe buy 2% of the show or 5% of the show, and your goal is just to build that list such that the percentage of the work that they buy goes up and up and up. And I've seen customers that I've worked with recently where 40 to 50% of the show is bought before anyone even sees it by their collectors, just gone. So you created 20 pieces, 10 are gone instantaneously because you have been cultivating a collector list, because you understand the business model. Okay. And it is, I mean, we're going to get into it, but it is so fundamental. And I've been doing this for a long time now. Okay. I've talked to a lot of people, and it breaks my damn heart because on a regular basis, people are coming on these calls. Okay. And they're in their late 40s, late 50s, late 60s, late 70s. They are at the top of their game. They have honed their craft to the greatest it's ever going to be. And guess what? They didn't understand the business model. And guess what? They didn't keep a collector list. And so guess what? The pandemic hit and all their offline revenue sources, poof, are gone. And they're coming on this call and they're going, Patrick, and this is how I envisioned it. They had the corner office, floor to ceiling windows, the giant executive desk, the big leather chair. And I'm telling them, I'm sorry, you're out of there and you have to go back to the mailroom and you're pushing the cart because you did not cultivate this list. Okay, you did not keep a collector list. You did not work on your marketing. You did not understand the business model. What do you have now? You have nothing. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Wait the pandemic out? Like half the galleries are closed. The ones that are still open are renegotiating the split from 50-50 to 60-40 because they have 100 different artists that they want to pick from. Go back on the show and fair circuit. That's wonderful. That does not pay if it's not at 100% attendance. How long is it going to take for the show and fair circuit to get back to 100% attendance? We don't know, but it's not going to be instantaneous, right? So really, really passionate about the business model, really, really passionate about the collector list. I think the minute you understand that, boy, are you in a great place. Boy, are you in a great place. You're building it. It takes time. Okay. That's the outer shell. The inside of the block, 3 ways to sell art. There are 3 ways to sell art. Okay. Every single solitary artist, my argument, and photographer needs to understand the 3 ways to sell art and needs to be applying them in their business. Number 1, best way to sell art. Trick question of sorts. Everyone knows the best way to sell art. It's in person, face to face. It always has been. It always will be. Okay. In person, face to face is the best way to sell art. Anytime you have the ability to sell art that way, you do that. Problem: we are all of us geographically fixed on this planet. We all have to sleep. We can't have 15 conversations at once. So the third way to sell art, and I say third because it's the least important, is via your website. You absolutely have to have a website. The website solves for these problems when you're asleep, 15 people at a time, and for many of the geographic problems. The second way to sell art, okay, the newest way to sell art, the one the entire art selling world is trying to figure out right now, the greatest advancement in selling art since forever is exactly what we're doing right now. It is selling art via live video in either a one-to-one fashion or a one-to-many fashion. A one-to-one fashion, I go to Antonio's website. Antonio, these pieces are very interesting. What is that one behind you? I would like to buy it. Can we talk about it? Antonio goes, Patrick, no problem. Let me set up a Zoom call with you. I'll show you a couple of pieces and we can talk about it. I can get to know you. That is the one-to-one fashion. The one-to-many fashion, okay, which is mega interesting as well, is this concept of a live art show, okay? And what am I doing? There we go. So I have a couple examples of this I'm going to show. This is a painter in his garage studio. He has some works that he's trying to sell. He is streaming this to Instagram. He is streaming this to Facebook. He's streaming it to YouTube. He is holding the works up. He's talking about them. People can leave comments. They can purchase them. This is one particular type of e-sales. This is a customer and a good friend of ours named Matthew Locke. We've run a number of these different initiatives with him. In addition, okay, to this concept of doing it in your studio, what happens if you have an actual show? He had an actual show in the middle of the pandemic. Now, Attendance was limited. A bunch of people couldn't travel, so the attendance of the show was light. He still sold a bunch of stuff. The day after the show, what do? We turn the cameras on. He grabs a glass of wine, wears this ridiculous sleeveless shirt. I always make fun of him for the sleeveless shirts. I can't help it. I think it's funny. And what is he doing? He's walking through the show, and you notice people are leaving comments. We're highlighting the comments. He's walking through the show. He's explaining each of the pieces. Okay. So my point in showing this is the new, and I've got another one here too. I can rattle through so many examples of this. It's crazy, but this is absolutely the future of selling art. It is the next best way. And when we contemplate, let me mute this, but I'll just give you something to stare at while I rant here. You know, if selling art in person, face to face, is the best way to sell art, then okay, everything that we do digitally tries to get as close as possible to that. Okay. And what would be the ideal way to sell art? Let's just say it's an art gallery that you have, that you own in your hometown. Okay. People can come in, they can get to know you, have a conversation, they can buy the art. For all the people that can't geographically do that, the next best way is this via live video. Again, one-to-one or one-to-many, a group show, right? And it's so close to the real thing. It's amazing. You don't have to leave your hometown. They get to know you. They get to interact with you. They feel like they have a bond with the artist. It is the future, full stop. And what's interesting is the entire world is trying to figure this out right now, okay? The entire art selling world is trying to figure it out. Your industry doesn't have a lot of reports. There's two big ones, okay? There is the Art Market 2021 report. They do one of these each year. It's from Art Basel and UBS. I'm going to send you links to the report. I want you to read it. It's amazing. It's incredible. The disclaimer on it is these guys report on the top 1% of the art selling market, right? Like the highest of the high end. The top auction houses in Christie's, the top auction houses and the top art selling dealers and the top galleries and stuff. But the report is still very, very relevant, okay? And the link we'll send you. You can download the entire report, which I recommend you do. I think you'll find it really insightful. But they have these key findings too, which is like this snazzy little web page they built to talk about it. And so I can go in here, I can explore this thing. We've got some lovely little graphs. But you read this report, and what they call it, and I'll quote, Chapter 5 looks at the online art market and the rapid evolution in sales in 2021. The chapter shows how the dealer sector shifted sales online in 2020 and the development of online viewing rooms, OVRs. Do you know what online viewing rooms are? A snooty way to talk about a Zoom call, okay? A snooty way to talk about exactly what we are doing right here, right now. So this is the future of how to sell art in an incredible fashion. I always feel like a bit of a Yahoo to share numbers, but I'm going to share numbers because it's going to give this whole entire thing some teeth, okay? So Matthew Laka, longtime customer, great friend, normally does the full dog and pony gallery shows. In the middle, so this was on June 9th, 2020, he did 2 of these over a 15-day period. He sold 62 pieces for a little bit over $30,000 Canadian. From his basement, no 50-50 split, direct, didn't have to leave. This is his garage studio. It's where he paints. Didn't even leave his living room. This gal, Meg, also a customer, she was moving studios, legitimately moving studios from one studio to another. This was about a month ago that we ran this. And, you know, just to underscore my collector list, okay? This particular sale was teased on a Friday. On Monday, she emailed her collector list. Her collector list bought 46% of the show. She sold a little bit less than, I think, 76 different pieces for $15,000. Now, the pieces in this particular show were like the color studies, right? They weren't like the full buttoned up pieces. I'm trying to get to one where she's actually holding one. You know, they were color studies, there were sketches, there were smaller works, right? You know, stuff that was just involved in it. But the point is, this is absolutely the future. It is such an incredible way to sell art and photography. The entire world is trying to figure it out. You know, you get people using various different, you know, at the snooty end, it's OVRs, online viewing rooms, or the art fairs and shows that are trying to keep the booth deposits. What's their line that they love? We're going to have a virtual art show, right? Everyone is trying to figure this out right now. I do not know what floor this particular elevator is going to go to. My guess is it's going to go very, very, very high. What I'm saying is right now, this elevator is on the ground floor and the doors haven't even closed yet. The whole world's trying to figure this out. And there is so much tradecraft to it, I can't even begin to tell you. You know, this particular Zoom call, I have all you guys in a Zoom call right now, right? This is also being streamed to 2 YouTube channels, to a Facebook channel, to Twitter, all at once, all simultaneously. Everyone is trying to figure this out, and it is the most effective way to sell art, period. And so, step one is becoming aware of it. Step two is starting to practice it and put it into practice. And I guarantee there's probably not a single solitary person on this call that is doing it. And, you know, people ask, what is it that you do at Art Storefronts? We teach our customers how to sell art and photography in the most advanced ways possible. And because I don't care, 90%, I tell people these things, 90% of the people will never, ever even do it. So I don't even care to give away the tradecraft. I'll give away the tradecraft right now. So my sleeveless associate here, Matthew, is using wireless Apple AirPods connected to his iPhone, which has this stream going out live on Instagram. We are leveraging software that is streaming it, that's putting in this little title here, right? And his logo, and you know, the banner at the bottom to inquire, and it's pulling the comments in. So cell phone, earpods connected to Instagram on the phone, laptop, computer, Facebook, personal Facebook, YouTube account, all of that goes down all at once simultaneously. And you can see there's numbers here. If the number 2 thing goes away, he's even got little numbers here. Why? Because the people on Instagram can't see the graphics that we have on the screen. And so they need to know, okay, was that number 2 or number 3? You can't really see it, but it's like right behind here. There's like a little thing. Yeah, there it is. See, number 5. And we're on number 5. So everyone knows. There's a million little things like that. What is the best combination of the technology? How do you announce it? What do you do during the course? And don't worry, I'm going to send you guys, excuse me, I'm going to send you these shows after the fact so you can watch them and pick up what you like. But this is absolutely the future, you guys, and it is completely changing the game. And you don't need to leave your house, and there are no booth fees, and there's no loading up the car and driving somewhere and staying in some crappy hotel and eating crappy food and then hoping you're going to see an ROI. There is no limit to the amount that you can run. It is the most beneficial use, highest ROI use of an artist or a photographer's time I could even imagine right now. It's not even close. And again, the whole world's trying to figure it out. So those are the 3 ways to sell art. I got to get back to my pyramid. You have to be running all 3, and you have to be doing all 3 consistently all year long. So we start by constantly gathering attention. We start by recognizing the business model, collector list, as well as the 3 ways to sell art. Then we get to the top of the pyramid, which is everything else. What do I mean, everything else? You have a brick and mortar gallery that's working out for you, that's bringing in revenue to your business. Fantastic. We love revenue. I have never met a revenue source I don't like. Keep it going. But it's in addition, okay, not in lieu of working on attention, not in lieu of working on the 3 ways to sell art and building your own collector list. What if it's an online gallery? Maybe it's Saatchi or Fine Art America or Redbubble or Etsy or any of the others. Is it bringing in revenue? Fantastic. I've never met a revenue source I don't like, but it's in addition to everything else, okay? It's in addition to getting your own attention. It's in addition to the 3 ways of selling art. So too, if you're doing the show and Thayer circuit, we love the show and Thayer circuit. It's fantastic. I can't wait for it to come back. It is a great way to build attention, but it's in addition to those 2. You understand this pyramid, okay? You start working on this pyramid, and you are going to be on the path towards building a successful art or photography business. You don't, and you don't control the rules. You do not control the stakes. You can have the rug ripped out from underneath you at any point in time, which I've seen again and again and again on these calls. And you know, one of the things that no one talks about, okay, and does not get mentioned enough. 3 of these a week for a year and a half, okay? It's not hyperbole. That many of them. Every single solitary week, there are people in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and I would say once every 2 weeks, somebody in their 90s comes in on these calls asking questions. And so why do I bring that up? Understand the perspective of how long you guys are going to be artists and photographers selling your art or photography, okay? You guys don't go through midlife crises. Doesn't happen to creatives. You don't decide all of a sudden you're going to stop being a painter and you're going to go rent jet skis in Florida for the summer, and that's going to be your job, okay? So when you have the perspective figured out that you are going to be working at this for the rest of your life into your 90s in many cases, it underscores how important it is to understand this pyramid, to start working on this pyramid. And guess what? It's not going to be easy at first if you're just getting started. It's going to be a pain in the butt. You know, I'm looking at Rick there, and Rick, if you have not been building that list the entire time, when I'm telling you you have to learn how to email market and social media market, and you need to start doing it on a regular basis, that could be frustrating, but it's not frustrating when you got another 25 years of growth in this doggone business. So what does Art Storefronts do at the end of the day? We teach you how to do the pyramid. Yeah, we give you a website. And yeah, we put you into a university where there's no graduates because the learning never stops. That's really, in a nutshell, who we are, what we do. All right. Well, thanks for indulging me on the video, guys. We can now open it up to Q&A. And I'll make a quick remark, you know, before we even get into the Q&A. And again, I've been running these things for a long time now. In addition to that, I talk to my customers internally week in, week out. And you know, I can say one thing conclusively, okay? On this call, all right, bunch of different artists, bunch of different photographers from this country and others. Yeah, what's up, Charles? See, Charles is in the UK, so I can say this country and others for certain, although it's usually the case. You guys are at different age groups. Some of you are just getting started. Some of you are the peak of your career. Some of you on the backside of your career. You have different niches, different levels of talent. And, you know, there's one thing that you guys all have in common. Every one of you has a marketing problem. You don't solve the marketing problem, the business doesn't grow. It's that simple. It's that simple. And yet, what does every artist and photographer do? Work on everything but the marketing consistently because you don't want to do it. And I understand you don't want to do it. Nobody wants to do it. It's a pain in the butt, right? But it's the biggest problem that you guys got to fix. And we can get into various this, that, and the others on the call. You know, as a final, and I love this, the fact that you guys are engaged and interested in growing your careers at this moment in time, there is no better moment in time than right now. We're staring down the barrel of Q4, okay? And Q4, don't take this cynically as any sort of sales pitch because it's not. I don't care if you ever sign up with us or not. Just understand the time that we are in. If I took all of my customers, and we've been doing this for 7+ years now. If I took all of my customers, right, and just to keep the math really, really simple, let's say all of them combined, the figure was $100,000 a month that they sold in June, in July, in August, in September, right? Let's just say, to keep the math simple. What we see traditionally in Q4, non-COVID times, is if the sales were $100,000 a month in September, they double to $200,000 a month in October. And then in November, they triple to $300,000 a month. And then December, because of the drop dead date of Christmas shipping, you only really get 2 weeks of hardcore sales in there. It's at a 1.5 multiple, so it's 150,000. That's just for showing up in Q4. So essentially, your efforts are doubled, tripled, and at a 1.5 multiple. Just these next 3 months, just for showing up and doing something. Right? So understand how critical of a time of year it is. There is no better time of year to attempt to sell your creations than now. It's already started. We're already 25 days into it. So get fired up about that. It's real. And there's very little you have to do to make your efforts double from what you did last year. And don't tell me you had huge efforts last year. I know you didn't. I look at all your websites and your social media accounts. You guys barely run sales. You barely send emails. You barely post on the socials. You may run a sale for like 1 day. It's my Black Friday sale. So let's not phone it in this year. All right, let's do this. I want to see some action, and you know, it's just it comes around every year. It's the best year to attempt to sell your creation. So that's what I'll say. So Q&A, how do we do it? If you're one of the brave ones like Teresa, David, Charles, or Daryl, you guys have a question. All you do is raise your hand. I'll see it, and I could unmute you, bring you in. For everyone else, okay. At the bottom of your little Zoom window, let me get this thing scrolled in so it's right. There's this little reaction space, and you can click that thing, and there's a digital way to raise your hand. That lets me know you have a question. If you don't want to turn your camera on, you don't have to turn your camera on. I hate being on video, so I totally understand that. You can ask via audio, and then if you're so inclined, you can also throw your questions in the chat. We can get to those. For those that are watching on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, I see your comments too. So if you want to ask questions there, I will see them. I can answer them. We can get into them. Which one of you camera ons are going to be my brave one today? David, Charles, Daryl, Teresa? All right, Charles is going to go first. You always need someone to break the ice. You know? How you doing, man?
Hi, Patrick. Good to talk to you.
You too.
Again.
Yeah.
I thought this time, if I could, just
Mm-hmm.
give you a bit more background to where I am,
Sure.
and then perhaps if you could offer some advice.
I'd love to.
And then perhaps I think I need to get these playbooks
Yeah.
somehow.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, to give you a bit of background on my story, um, I've been creating art and trying to get the process spot on,
Mm-hmm.
website updated,
Mm-hmm.
and it was only in August this year that I decided to start selling
Mm-hmm.
my pieces. So since August, I've sold 32.
It's great. What's AOV? AOV's average order value. About, doesn't need to be perfect.
Really simple, £16.
16 pounds per. Okay.
I know that sounds absolutely absurd,
Mm-hmm.
but I sell my art sequentially priced.
Okay.
So I'm on 32 at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
and the next one I'll sell will be 33, and 34, 35, and so on. There is a limit.
I still want you to. I want you to add a 0 to the end of each one, but we can get into that later.
Well, my plan is it goes up to 9,999, and then I stop.
Forever.
Well, I stopped making magnetic art.
Okay.
I might have something else by then. I'll probably be sick to death of magnetic art by then.
Yeah.
And move on to something else. But for a Tane collection, that's what it includes.
Okay.
For me, I'm marketing through Facebook Marketplace. And I only in the last month and a half or so, I've been posting to Instagram. I've always had an Instagram account for a while now. And all I did was follow people nonstop, nothing but following.
Okay.
And the followers I got back were about 2%.
Yeah.
So I'm on about 600 followers, but genuine followers who have been seeing my craft, I'd say we're more in the region of, 10s, 20s, that sort of thing. Yeah. Surprisingly, today was my first day where I felt Instagram. I had a request where someone said, I've DM'd you. So I had a look there, found a message, and yeah, they're actually wanting to, start that whole buying process.
Awesome.
And what did I do? I followed what you're recommending with a video. So I'm setting up a video call and going to go through that process.
Love it.
It's brilliant. I love it. And my
just for context on the call. So
sure,
this is because not everyone understands what we're talking about. So Charles posted something on his Instagram. Someone sent him a DM in internet parlance. That's direct message. And they're like, hey, Charles, I'm interested in one of your pieces. And Charles' option should have been, sure, mate, here's what the price is. You can buy it here. Or, yeah, let's set up a Zoom call. I'd love to talk to you about it. And so now he's going to jump into a Zoom call with this particular person, talk about the pieces, show the pieces, get to know the person, and get the sale over the line. There's no higher value way of selling art than one-on-one, whether video in person. So well done. Good on you on that one.
So for me, I think I'm at the point where it's the attention that I'm missing. And so it's how do I build on that attention? Do I go down building an Etsy shop? No. Or is Facebook Marketplace, enough?
Yeah. Well, I don't want you building an Etsy shop because, that's not going to help you and you don't know who's purchasing your work, right? I mean, when you said earlier, like, I'm now to the part where I have the attention problem, good. You're going to be that way the rest of your life. We all are. We all just need more attention, more attention, more attention. You just need consistent marketing at this point. So just keep doing more of what you're doing. The fact that you sold 32 pieces already is really, really good. It makes me happy. I hope you're retaining the information on all of those folks, right? I hope you continue to market to those folks because that's critically important. I don't think you're doing anything wrong. You just need to keep going. You just need to keep going. That's how it starts. Like, thinking that all of a sudden it's going to blow up, fish are going to jump in your boat. Not how it works, right? It's a grind early on, especially, but it's a very, very good sign that you're selling that volume of pieces.
My process is to post on Facebook Marketplace every day and try and do something on Instagram every day. But Facebook Marketplace is non-negotiable for me. But I'm just thinking I want to do more.
Yeah. So more is do more live art shows, right? On Instagram if you have the bigger following there, or on Facebook if you've got a decent one. And I don't mean the one-on-one video chats. I mean a live art show, where you press live on Instagram. You talk about your creation, you talk about your process, you talk about where your prices are headed, right? The fact that they can get in now, and then you need some sort of way to be capturing emails, and then you need to be emailing the emails regularly, right? So that's sort of like the the balanced diet of marketing, if you were, right? Capturing emails, emailing the emails, posting to the socials on a regular basis, running live art shows, having sales when the time is right. A little bit harder for you to run sales because your pricing is pretty much fixed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Thank you. And if I wanted to try and do these live ones where you have all the social media covered, yeah, I think I've seen ones where if you have a laptop, it will cover lots of different social platforms.
Right.
But to get Instagram there as well, that's beyond my technical skill.
Only thing you can use to go Instagram is this. That's it. So you can get tricky and do laptop and this thing, right, at the same time. Or just do the laptop, shut the laptop off, pick up the phone, do this right after the fact. Boom.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, easy.
Trying to think how it would work with them running simultaneously. Like, it just seems odd.
Oh, it's not odd in the slightest. It's actually pretty fun. I do it all the time. You have to have something for your ears that goes to the phone. So, AirPods ideally, right? Or if you've got the wired solution, you can't be moving around a ton, right? But if you've got these, whoever makes them, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You bob around and weave like that. Otherwise,
some sort of Bluetooth thing, because I don't have an iPhone.
Well, yeah, okay. They make Bluetooth for Android too, Charles. Yeah. So they will do that. Wow, David said Instagram just supported that they'll be posting from PCs. Yeah, I'm not touching anything. Okay, spoken like someone that's had his Instagram account banned 3 times, not 1, not 2, 3 times. I toe the line, okay, to my social media overlords, and I have no problem saying it. Right? They have all the attention. That means I stay in my lane until they announce you can do that. But you're overthinking it, right? Like all I would do is just run the one on the laptop, close it down, go to Instagram, go run the one on Instagram. I mean, there's a reason that I stream multiple times a day, usually 5 to 6 days a week. It's not for my health, Charles. It's not because I have a face for video. I have a face for radio, okay? I hate being on video, but it's effective. I'm contrarian about it. So you got to just do some storytelling, ask your friends to help you share it, start capturing more emails, and try to figure out how you can do an in-person show too.
Okay, thank you. I think all I've got to say left is I look forward to losing my voice then.
Yeah, yeah. I'm already, just ask me how that's working out, right? Well, there's a reason that I play the pre-recorded video up front. I can't keep going, right? I'm running out of gas. Just get a table and just go set up on the corner of the King's Road until someone comes and harasses you, and give auction off one of your magnetic creations, right? And you just pay the money to yourself so that you keep your pricing integrity in place, right?
Sure.
Yeah. But I love it. If you make it, okay, if you make it all the way to the 9,999 pounds, I will fly to London. I will fly to London and have a beer with you.
Ah, brilliant! I'll pay for it by then.
Yeah. Yep. Game on.
It's if you really want to know the details of it, it's a £50 million business idea.
I love it. I love it. It's still a £15 million business idea with a marketing problem.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Doesn't go away.
Me, I don't know. Somehow there's enough money there to, I don't know, maybe get people interested.
Yeah. You still got to send me what they look like. I want to see one of them.
How do I do that?
Just email me.
Hang on. At the bottom of Zoom, I think it says Patrick at Art Storefronts.
You got it, exactly. Done. Send me an email. I want to see one.
Will do.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Good time.
Thanks for going first. Thanks. Yeah, awesome. So that's a really interesting announcement, David. Where did you read that? I have to go Google that after the fact. I've unmuted you. But did you read that literally recently, last couple of days?
Yeah, I think I saw it. It came through on my Google news feed yesterday or the day before. I don't think you can do it yet.
You can't.
And I think
you
the
can
articles,
with software. You can with software, but I know it's like mega dicey. They don't like it, and that's why I've not even tried it.
yeah, I have I've been a PC guy for 20 years, but I have Macs now, and I've been able to go into the background code, change your device options and whatever, and I've posted once or twice from my iMac. But they said they were going to like beta test it with 100,000 users or something sometime between now and November,
That's
and
amazing.
then they would release it to the rest of the world after that.
Oh, I hope I'm on the early list. It'll really just make my life a little bit easier. Although it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun now to do the trade craft. So I do the computer software to Facebook groups, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and then I use my phone to go Instagram. And when you get good at it, it's kind of fun because you're constantly bouncing back and forth between the two and like figuring it all out. And it's not easy. So there's good trade craft there. So now they're going to let everyone do it. It's going to take away from some of my fun, but you know what? It'll make my life easier. So that'll be awesome. I'm going to Google that as soon as we get done, but thank you for telling me that. Well, I've got you unmuted. Any questions?
Not really. I talked to Philip Tomich last week. I think I'm going to go ahead and sign up for one of your packages. Frankly, your pyramid I found very interesting, but when you were talking about the very first level of the pyramid, the attention pyramid, it made me uncomfortable. It made me a little anxious. I thought, well, wait a minute, why do you feel this way? And I think I'm a little intimidated by the attention and the obligation that it's going to mean on my part to respond to that and to continue to fuel that and to follow the marketing plan and be responsible to do that. I'm kind of lazy. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I can step up to that.
Yeah. Well, you're here. You want to grow the business, and so what ends up happening is you're rolling along, especially early on, and you're like, oh, this is so annoying. I hate marketing. I don't want to do this. And then all of a sudden, right when you're at your low point, you end up getting a win, and it fills up the emotional reservoir that is your gas tank of motivation, and then you just get going.
But I just found out a week ago that I won. I was the grand prize winner in the Digital Photography Magazine photo contest for street scene photography.
Awesome.
So that comes with like cash and a whole bunch of cool prizes and stuff. And that's when I got in touch with you guys again. If there are like 4 other people out there that think what I do is cool looking and might want to buy it, I might as well jump on the marketing bandwagon.
You have to. It's the only thing that works. If no one wants to do it, that's where all the leverage is, right? Like that's absolutely where all the leverage is. And I'll show you how far away you are from success with it. I mean, you can't, there's no guarantees in this business, right? Like anyone that guarantees you anything is completely full of it, lying, you know what. But
well, I've been a photographer for 40 years.
Yeah.
And I've done it on a personal basis, not selling art, but on a service-based business, weddings and portraits and business work and that sort of thing. And the part of it that I'm into now, I really want to shoot what I want to shoot. I want to express myself in my images the way I want to express myself and hope people will buy that. But as photographers for over 40 years, I found out that we are all crippled by crippling insecurity about our art.
It's standard.
And we suck at being business people, which is why you have a job.
Yeah. 100%.
And I am the epitome of both. So I'm really looking forward to all the help you guys offer.
I mean, guess what? You have so much company, you can't believe it. You have so much company, you can't believe it. You know how many people are in your shoes? All of them. Everyone on this call. But look, this is what you can expect. And I saw this morning, and I was like, God, this is just a great stat. Why isn't it coming up? I got to do this to get it up. Yep. Small win, not to me. I launched my website on Monday. My email list is rather small, but they are all the people who have volunteered their emails to me through gallery shows I've done along Colorado's Front Range. The entire launch has been terrifying for me and has forced me to cross many personal anxiety-filled barriers having to do with my lack of formal education, fear of typos, and my sheer terror at sending out emails and doing social media views. Point being, everyone feels this way, right? As we near 5 p.m. on day 5, my email list has grown by approximately 40%. I made a very decent sized sale to someone I do not know, a website goal, and I met the modest financial goal I set myself for sales for the first week. But what I think is most important is I crossed the social media barriers that left that terror behind, okay? The next steps will be easier due to the amazing responses sent to me on the giveaway entry response form. Onward. Thanks for the help and the encouragement, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So one of these initiatives, right, when you launch, that we have you set up is like a giveaway timed with announcing your new website to the world. And those are the types of results that are just waiting, right? The beautiful thing about where you are just about to get started in Q4 is because you've never done the marketing correctly and you've never done it consistently, there's low-hanging fruit. There's low-hanging fruit literally just waiting for you. It's just waiting for you. And you got to just get out of your own way like Sheila did, right? And there she is. She's like, oh my gosh, that was terrifying, but I made it. And then you just push through to the next one and the next one and the next one. And it's also the power of these Zoom sessions, because we have these for our customers. Like you'll see there's one on Tuesday, there's one on Wednesday, there's one on Wednesday, there's one on Friday, Thursday. There's a whole bunch of different ones you can attend. And when you're in a Zoom session, except it's the same people week after week after week, so you're starting to get to know them and you understand what their issues are and where they are in the world and everything else, it creates like an accountability structure, you know? And it's like, you know, you'll see Sheila in there telling her story and you're like, damn it, if she can do it, I can do it, right? And there's something really powerful about going through something with like a cohort or your peers all at the same time, all struggling with the same situation, that is just insanely powerful. And it's something we learned, not by design by any measure. Like we started in on the Zoom sessions like right when the pandemic hit, and it's just been one of the most valuable things. There's something about going through it with your peers. And the great thing is that, you know, this isn't a zero-sum game, right? Like something Sheila sells is not something that you didn't sell, because there's no really competition between you guys, because it's all just sort of arbitrary, you know. I mean, maybe in certain niches there's a little competition, but the point is it's not like you're competing against, you know, you're not selling mattresses competing with a bunch of different mattress sellers in your same town, right? Like it's different because it's hard. So anyway, welcome almost aboard, and great timing. Do not underestimate what I said about Q4. It's no joke. It is powerful. It is powerful, the amount of art and photography that's going to sell. Yeah, that's what I got. Good? Sorted? All righty. And you take that picture behind you?
Yeah, I actually created a calendar for a golf course. And this is actually a picture of me on the number 2 tee box, and it made the calendar.
Wow! Did you just dead stick the camera and timed it?
Yeah, I gave myself 10 seconds to hit the button and run up and then pose mid backswing. I wasn't actually swinging at the ball. I was just sort of frozen.
Great
frozen
photo. Is it in HDR or no?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I replaced the sky. I did that's not HDR, but it's had some work done to it. I replaced the sky, and I threw the flock of birds up there in the corner, and the point is not to make a documentary realistic photos of golf courses. The point is to make the golf courses look as tasty as a juicy custom cheeseburger and make people want to go play it.
Amazing. Love it.
It was just an advertising thing.
Love it. We got a really cool calendar feature too. I don't usually talk about it, but your customer can come in at any point in time of the year. Because obviously, what's the biggest pain in the butt about calendars? You make them January through December, and you have to sell them way ahead of time. And if you don't, you're in trouble. So the customer can come in. You can set the images, or you can let them pick their own, and then the calendar just starts on whenever they place the order. So if they come in on April, it goes April to whatever's before April, March, which is pretty cool. So that's what I got. But yep, welcome almost aboard. Fantastic image. All right, guys, who else? Questions? Did my first meal launch. I wonder what she's saying here. Did my first meal launch with 1,200 on the list, and I've had a great response. Oh, yeah, you did your first giveaway. Congratulations, Bob and Don. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you guys, the low-hanging fruit of just getting launched and going is a big deal. Chaka, you're up next. Go ahead, Chaka.
Hi. So I'm probably way early in this. By the way, I'm at work, which is why I had myself hidden and muted this whole time. So,
well, it's pretty awesome. They let you decorate your office and work with masks and everything.
I work from home, but I design slot machine games. Like that's my day job.
Okay.
So my problem is I have a lot of art that I've made, but I don't really know how to turn it into a product. So I'm not even sure, like I'm early enough that I don't know if I should do prints. I don't know if I should do t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
I have one product designed that I'm running a Kickstarter for now, but that's kind of going to either be or not be.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can help me because I'm that early in the process.
I can tell you exactly where you need to focus, which is whatever it is that you end up deciding to go with, like whatever you created. Your first problem to solve, and then your second problem to solve. The second problem is the marketing problem, which we all need to solve, right? You don't even have that problem yet. You don't have that problem yet. What you need to solve is, do I have a product the market wants? By which I mean succinctly, will people, not name mom, dad, brother, sister, family, friends, buy my stuff?
Right.
So if strangers purchase your stuff, you then go from having a problem, will my stuff sell, to a marketing problem like the rest of us, right? So pre-pandemic, you said are you in Vegas? Is that where you are?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know what local fairs or shows they have in Vegas, but you need to get those products. You need to get a booth. You need to sit in it for however many hours it is on a Saturday, as terrifying as it might be, and see if the stuff sells. You might have the entire table sell out, right? You might not even be able to keep a product in stock, in which case you know what you got to do then. Or it might be crickets, or your pricing might be completely out of line. You need to have some conversations with strangers. So if you can do the shortcut to that is whatever way you can get into a show, fair, booth, farmer's market, whatever it is. The alternative, if you have a decent social media following, is turn the thing on. Guys, I'm thinking about launching this art business, and I don't have any damn idea if anybody wants this stuff or will pay for this stuff. So I'm having a flash sale. Hold the things up, talk about them, talk about what you would normally charge, and see if you can sell them that way. You can do that. That's sort of like the COVID specific, but I feel like, I don't know, are they still doing masks and everything in the casinos in Vegas? They are, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah. So I don't know what the outdoor scene is like, but yeah.
The outdoor scene isn't too bad. There's a First Fridays art fair that I could probably do every month.
Get in there.
That would be a good way to get started.
Get in there. Psych yourself up. Go put the deposit down on that thing, and so then you're pot committed. You can't get out of it.
Gotcha.
And by the way, best time to do that there, Q4, baby. Everyone's going to be looking for gifts, right?
Gotcha.
And when you're in there, and when you get in there, something to remember. So you're looking to have conversations. You're looking to see whether or not people will buy the work. If they won't buy the work, if they tell you they're interested, immediately go for the sale. This stuff is great. Okay. I really, really like it. Great. Make me an offer. And then shut up and see what they say. Just say, make me an offer. I've got to move it, right? Your job is to try and move it. And then if you talk to them and they're like, I love this, but this is just not what I'm interested in, say, okay, what are you interested in? And have those types of conversations, right? And
gotcha.
and see where it goes. But you don't want to poison the well. You just want to go into it with an open mind, because you don't know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you whether or not any of that stuff can sell. No one on this call will tell you whether or not. The only thing they can tell you is that damn credit card coming out of the wallet and sliding, right? Or that cash coming out. So go and see, and you'll never know until you know. And by the way, if for any reason, it doesn't sell, that doesn't mean you're a crappy artist. It just means you have potentially a product that the market doesn't want, right? Which is where the value comes in, and asking them questions. And, I always bring this up, but Pablo Picasso, when he died, had 45,000 unsold works in his inventory. 45,000. And the way you got to look at that is, that dude was firing arrows and missing the target all the time. Did it let him stop him? No. He just pulled another arrow out and fired again. And all of a sudden he hit a bullseye. And those were his biggest periods and his biggest sales. So it doesn't necessarily mean what you're producing is crap, but you have to align what you're producing with something that the market actually wants. And so that's your goal.
Got it. Thanks. Appreciate you.
Write me in, and you write me in just to hold you accountable. I want you to respond to my email. Write me an email and say, booth deposits in, I'm in.
Gotcha.
And I got friends in Vegas. Don't make me send somebody by your booth. John, keep you on it, because I'll do it. I'm crazy like that.
You know what? When I send you that email, I'm going to ask you to send somebody to my booth.
Okay, I'll do it. Where's the First Fridays? Is it like that Old Town?
There's an area downtown that does it every month.
Okay, game on.
Awesome.
All
Awesome.
right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I love those types of challenges. But that's what you need, right? Like that's like 50-50 of what we provide as Art Storefronts in addition to the website. I'm not kidding, is the emotional support. And I say this all the time. I'm sort of alluding to it with David, but come to find out that if our job at Art Storefronts is to create successful customers, because if you have selfishly, if you are a successful customer, guess what you're not doing? Canceling your website, canceling your plan and leaving, right? You're with us the whole time. That's the best thing. So it puts my oar and your oar in the same boat. We're rowing in the same direction. So the way that I describe how do you create a successful artist or photographer is the same way that you solve the weight loss problem, right? Like if we had to lose weight, what would we do? We all know what the answer is. It's not just your diet, okay? It's diet and exercise. That's the only way you're going to lose weight, right? Well, to make it as a successful artist, it's teaching you how to market, and then it's the emotional support, right? Of which what I just gave Chaka there is a variant, right? Sometimes the emotional support is like, you're in the depths. You're like, this is not working. God, I should have listened to my father. This is just a hobby, right? Like I'm never going to make it. You need to be picked up off the ground sometimes. That's just the road of an entrepreneur. But the other is like the challenge, right? Because Chaka could just go off this thing and be like, okay, I'm going to do that. And then a year from now, he still hasn't done it, right? So if I get in his face and I'm like, no, you're going to send me that email. You can get your ass in that booth. I'm going to send somebody by to take photos. He's like, okay, game on. I'm going to do it. That type of emotional support is as important as the tactical marketing advice that I gave him. And that will never change. That will never change. You guys are all solopreneurs. You don't have a staff. You don't have a team. Being an entrepreneur is hard at the best of times. It's hard with the team. When you're by yourself, you don't have anyone bucking you up and offering you like support, like you can do this, or you don't see people in a Zoom class that was like, oh, a year ago is right where you were, pulling my hair out of my head, trying to figure all this marketing stuff out. And guess what? It all worked out, right? Like I did great. So that's what I'd say. Yeah. All right. Who else? Questions about anything that we do, about Q4, about marketing, this, that, or the other? And again, you can just go right on the bottom of your Zoom thing and hit the little reactions button. Or if you don't want to ask in person, you can hammer it out in the chat. I'm happy to take any and all of the above. And then as you start layering things up, the live art shows, you guys, my goodness, I've never seen anything like it. And, a comment here is, question about the live art show. I printed 16 by 20 prints myself. Some of which will believe will be best on best sellers. I would like to use these prints for the first live art show. 100%, Bob. Whatever you have in stock is a perfect thing to use. And I'll get you out of there. Chaka's like, wait a minute, I'm still on video. You're all good. Whatever you have in stock is a great thing to use for the live art shows, right? It doesn't necessarily need to be. You could all have samples that you're showing and then do the live art shows. Arlene's asking, what's Q4? Q4 is just the last 3 months of the year. So it's October, November, December, Arlene. But primarily, it's a situation in which Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and just the whole holiday buying season. Oh, that's right. Lauren's got a question. You've been on here before, Lauren. You talked, I think, before. But I'm unmuting you, Lauren. So you're just asking, can you explain that a bit more, being on the multiple apps? So there's software, okay? There's software that allows you to stream via your computer to multiple different social sites at a time. So it allows you to, like in our instance right now, we're streaming this to our Art Storefronts Facebook page. We're streaming it to Art Storefronts YouTube account. I have 2 YouTube accounts, so it's going to both of those. It's also streaming to Twitter, which you can also do, but really anywhere you have attention. But the important thing for most of you, because it's not like you have 55 different social sites with a bunch of attention, is after you're done running a live art show or you're done making a marketing video of any kind, you just put all the effort into making that video, right? So you want to get the most ROI of that as possible. So you want to have the video you can send to everybody after the fact. Well, if you're just streaming it to Facebook, the quality, they only allow 720p and the quality is just kind of crappy in Facebook, period. So even if you have no followers on YouTube, you stream to YouTube so you can go and grab the YouTube video after the fact and it's higher quality to send everyone on your email list. So that's sort of the part of the tradecraft on it. And then Instagram is just, rapidly becoming one of the most important periods. So you have to go to Instagram too. But I literally do it all the time. And you know, once you get in the hang of it, it's actually pretty fun. The whole thing's fun. And you want to talk about insane, and by which I mean insane. Let me show this. I don't have to share. Here, I can do it this way. Let's see if this is up. Get my fat head out of the way. So this is my deal friend, Kara Walker. Okay. And she has some things working in her favor that make it somewhat not fair. Okay. And, you know, full disclosure, one of the big ones, I thought I had her video up. Why is it not already up? Oh, it is. One of the things that she has in her favor is, just bear with me here. I'll show you. So unbeknownst to me, okay, up till now, there are still wild horses that live in the United States and on federally funded BLM land, like in the Western United States. And apparently the ranchers and the farmers they're not happy about this situation because the horses break their fences, eat their whatever, you know, so they want the federal government to cull them. Okay. And I guess the Biden administration is starting to do that or whatever. And so the wild horse people, let me tell you, are hopping mad. Okay. They are angry. And this is a hot button issue. And so what she does is she lives in northern Colorado, and she drives around to all these, wherever these horses hang out, and she photographs them. Right. And so we've been running some live art shows with her. She's a customer. I don't want to go into the details, but you can see how beautiful her setup is in the background, right? Like she's got all the images on the wall. She's super into acrylic and metal and canvas. She even has some paper prints. So she's great job showing these things off. But look at this, you guys. These results are astounding. People wonder why I get so fired up about this. So her first show, you can see the type will be a little small, so I'll just read it, was on March 24th, okay? And that was her very first show that she should ever run. You can see the little thumbnail from it down here below. It looks a little different than the one that I was just showing, right? Which was a different show here, which was a different show. But anyway, that was her first show. 6 pieces sold, $1,800. Average order value of $303. That was on March 24th. Second show, 6/21, and you can see it's Wild Minis Prime Day. One of the things that we teach you to do are the best times to run sales. One of the best times to run sales, no one ever knows this. I'll tell you guys anyway. Amazon Prime Day is one of the biggest e-commerce days in the entire world, certainly in the United States, like second only to Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So when Amazon runs its sale, it makes a ton of sense to run your sale because a bunch of people have sale on the brain. So we instruct her to run a sale this day. And that's what the Prime Day sale is. Anyway, pretty great result for her second one. $6,600 in sales, total sales, 49 pieces sold, $136 average order value. Okay. She partnered with a charity 2 weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago now, 10/7. Check out those results. This is our third live art show, and that's the one that I'm showing you here. So the Blue Zeus art show sale and fundraiser, and you can kind of see all the pieces that she had in there. I mean, this is all super focused, laser focused on obviously the I love horse niche, right? But do you understand those results from her third show ever? And let me tell you, it's not like this woman was born to be on video or is like a television producer or something. Like she's as awkwarded out and nervous and terrified about video as all the rest of us are. 27,119 pieces sold. Didn't have to leave her studio. It's insane. So I'll send you a link to this too. I mean, she gets mega emotional about this. Like not kidding. Like she's crying. I sent that privately to April. Sorry, hold on, I'll put this in the chat. But she's like crying a little bit, busted up about these horses, and it just shows you how powerful storytelling is when you're trying to sell your images, right? Like a big deal. But these live art shows, my goodness, I've never seen anything like it. It is quite possibly the best marketing technique or tactic I've ever seen, period, full stop. So I don't know, Lauren, I went mega long-winded. I don't know if that answered your question or not. I unmuted you again, Lauren.
Yes. Like specifically you're talking about kind of like toggling with your laptop and with your phone, but I assume it's because on your laptop you have whatever's going on Facebook. Like, I guess I was just trying to figure out what's literally happening in that situation. Yeah.
So it's just software. So, and you look every time, you can't see because she's got long hair, but in her case, I don't have it up. She's got, again, the AirPods that go to the iPhone, right? So that sorts the AV, if you will, the audio-visual problem of getting to the phone, and then she's just talking normally, and that's being picked up by her webcam laptop, and that covers the two, right? Or if you look, if you look at my buddy, you see what I mean? AirPods in the ear, connected to the phone. Right next to it is the computer, and so that's allowing him to do all of those at once at the same time. He's so dramatic, moving his arms around and everything else. Piece of work anyway. So that's a tradecraft. That's how you do it. Question is, will you do it, Lauren? Are you going to run one this weekend?
No, I will do it, but not this weekend.
Not this. Well, I mean, how are we going to do next weekend? Then next weekend's Halloween.
I need to find a space. The problem is we can talk about this separate. This can come up a separate time. A lot of the stuff that I'm trying to sell now, they're huge mixed media drawings.
Yeah.
I need that's what I'm trying to storage has been such an issue, not getting them damaged, figuring out where I can hang them up. It's been a major, just logistical struggle, but
sure.
I mean, to be fair too, I haven't been focusing on it. I've been doing my day job, but but that's been a thing. I'm like, where do I set all this up so I can do that?
Big pieces, big problems, Lauren. Big pieces, big problems.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
That's for sure. Make some smaller ones in the future. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny too. Going back to my buddy here is, he had, he for years and years and years, he was just down to run any marketing initiative with me at any point in time. And his new stuff sells so quickly. Oh, maybe I could show this. This is probably gonna be a little squishy. Let's see if it works. But he had a show with a bunch of huge pieces. See, it's all jacked up. I can't resize this thing on the fly. But you can see him in relation to the pieces. Look at the Martin Luther King one. They're huge, right? And he did well. He did well in this show. But it's also hard because do you know how few people have gigantic walls in their house? I mean, on the good side of things, they're very wealthy people, right? That part's awesome. But having huge wall spaces is not the majority, right? Especially not the majority. And don't you live in a metropolitan area? It's even smaller in a metropolitan area. So.
Well, that's why I'm trying to figure out too, though, not just individuals, but there are a lot of people around here trying to set up for real estate. They want to set up a place or restaurants or hotels, barbershops, whatever. There was a guy who reached out to me from a barbershop who was like, hey, I just want a bunch of pieces. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm not thinking, what market exists that I'm not thinking about.
Well, let's start with, hey, I need a bunch of test pieces. Go down to the storage bin and take them over there.
Yeah, that's what I have to organize. Yep. There are too many. I think I talked to you about last time. There's a lot of white noise in my brain right now.
Oh, yours and mine and everyone's. Yours and mine and everyone's. As long as there's one thing on the list that you're accountable for. So it's either going to be the barbershop or it's going to be the live art show. I think the barbershop is easier.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Could be, could not be. Yeah. Yeah. But keep me in the loop. Keep me in the loop. You're showing up on the calls, which is a good sign. It's a good intent signal. Okay, she muted again. She's super gnarly on her muting. She was last time too. I got the trigger finger on it. But what else, guys? Questions, comments? The reality is where you guys are sitting in that seat right now. You are not far from being able to have a website that is up, a website that is live, and a website in which you are selling art. And I'll see if I can cherry pick some of these other. So we have this we have this Facebook group, right, that people post their wins. We do it as a way to keep the positive vibe going and encouragement, right? Oh, here's one for Lauren. Let's show this. Live art show, 4 sales, pieces sold after. A small win indeed. The group was called Small Wins. I ran my first live art show on Saturday with not much fanfare. Then yesterday, I get emails from ASF stating these 4 pieces sold from the live art show. They were purchased by an Instagram follower that has liked and commented about my posts and videos often. So I'm about 7 months into the process and my first big sale. And see, 7 months. So for some people, it doesn't happen instantaneously, but that's 7 months. They finally decided to run their first live art show, and boom. And I see you guys squinting. I can't easily make this bigger, so I just have to go through it. But what I'm trying to say is, no, I want the ones where literally I just launched. I received some calendars. I ordered snap a pic, filmed a short story, posted to Instagram, Facebook. Literally 10 minutes later, my first calendar is sold. That's a good one. I did my first live art show and sold 2 36 by 36 canvas prints and 1 20 by 20 canvas print. And this morning I did a live art show, a total of $1,300. That's insane. Not bad for a 30-minute work. See that, Lauren? $1,300, 30 minutes worth of work. Okay. Sold 2 originals. This was the Labor Day flash sale playbook. Great marketing suggestions. Where are the ones that are just about launching? Oh yeah, small win. Oh, this is a 2-day event. That's not it. I made my first 3 sales, which included 3 prints in 1 bag. Okay, this is the best thing. You get your website live, you announce it to your followers, and boom, announce my live website and free giveaway just this morning. I have over 30 signups so far. On top of that, I made my first 3 sales, which included 3 prints in 1 bag. I received tremendous support via emails and Facebook. That's what I'm talking about. That's the low-hanging fruit that's available for all of you once you guys actually start doing some marketing. Organized, what is this? Well, I can say that it's not been brimming. Anyway, I feel like a Yahoo sometimes sharing these things, but it goes to show you how close all of you guys are. It is Q4. It is not time to mess around. It's time to get in the game. Daryl, you've been super brave to have your camera on the whole time. I feel like you got to have a question knocking around in there, so I'm going to unmute you, Daryl, and see if you do. If you don't worry. But you've been brave with the camera off, so I was like, you know what? I got to give Daryl some love. If you got a question.
You know what? I really, can you hear me?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, I really appreciate this. And I'm kind of like, I'm gonna hold off on questions until I understand more.
Yeah.
This is my first day, and actually my first probably 2 or 3 hours.
Wow. How do we find you? Or how did you find us?
I think I was on Facebook.
Got it.
Maybe something came up,
Uh-huh.
and I just kind of clicked into it.
Amazing.
And another reason why I'm being hesitant is because I do own a camera.
Mm-hmm.
I traveled the world for 15 years, and I took a lot of shots, but I don't feel like I'm a professional by any means. And what I was looking at or considering is that I have a love for a little city in Vallejo that a couple of years ago was considered the most diverse city in the country.
Where's Vallejo? You said Vallejo?
Vallejo.
Oh, Vallejo in California. Got it. Yeah.
In California.
Yeah.
But the problem is that socioeconomically, it's a low socioeconomic community.
Yep.
So what I was thinking is that it would be great if I could create a website to help the artists out who are in Vallejo.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I'm just listening and looking at how that would work. And as I listen, it's like, okay, I want to be legitimate in what I'm doing. And it's one thing that probably would be true is that a lot of these people would not have the wherewithal to keep up with marketing and the whole process of really being successful.
Yes.
But they're good people.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
They do have the talent. So I'm thinking, where do I really fit in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, I can just tell you. So it would be a situation where you would essentially be a gallery, right? You would be a gallery, and you know they're not going to market, so you have to do the marketing. If you're going to have to do the marketing, you're going to have to be compensated for doing the marketing. So you would have to do some sort of revenue split with them, right? And while that's good, it turns you into a gallery, right? And I personally, I hate the gallery relationship. I think it's a tenant-farmer relationship, okay? Because I don't know. I
was getting that sense.
Yeah, because I literally classify it as a tenant-farmer. Like for years and years and years, artists have had relationships with galleries, and the reason it's being a tenant-farmer, you might get a roof over your head, and you might get some free meals and some income, but when you leave with a shirt on your back. You have nothing. You have nothing to show for it, and it's why I highlight this book so much. The Don't Be a Starving Artist. It's like, you have to know who's purchasing your work, okay? If you don't know who's purchasing your work, you're never going to be able to market to them in perpetuity. So if any artist wants to make it, they have to be building a collector list. So you could be a beneficent gallery owner and let these folks know, hey, here's who bought your stuff. But you would be the only gallery in the United States that does that, because none of them do it, right? Because it's like the number one thing. So you could do that. I think there's some good angles for that. I think it would probably be very easy for you to get buy-in, from the entire city because of the good work that you're doing. But you'd still have to grind on the marketing, right? And you get as many of those folks in as possible. My guess is you probably have to take photos of all their art so that you can reproduce it, right? So that would be a part of it too.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want you to do is you're educating yourself. There's April, will you throw a link to the podcast? I want you to subscribe to the podcast, and it's an audio podcast or a video podcast. You can do it either way. But I want you to I would binge listen to some of those, and that'll really like spin your head on what you need to do in terms of marketing and get you up to speed, because you're brand new. You just found us today.
Yeah. Okay. Now I want you to go back and tell me again this last part of what you said you want me to do. Say that again.
Yeah. So, listen, we have a podcast, and it's good. It's really good. And I want you to listen to it. And, do you listen to podcasts or no?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just, there's a link to it right here, but you can just search the Art Marketing Podcast and any podcast thing you have. Listen to a bunch of those, because I think it'll be super helpful to kind of put in your mind a lot of industry specific stuff, a lot of marketing related stuff, and it'll raise your overall marketing acumen quickly.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I really appreciate it, and I do intend to come back and listen to more. And here's another part of it. While Valel is in California, like I said, I traveled the world for 15 years and only returned to Valel maybe 3 times in that 15 years.
What did you do? Did you have a job to do, or was it military travel? What was it?
I was teaching internationally.
Got it.
And just had a ball, traveling in, during the breaks.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't ever want to go home.
Yeah.
That's I stayed out there. But then I was accepted into Michigan State University doctoral program in education and came home.
Got it.
So I'm just kind of saying, I'm here in East Lansing, Michigan, and really considering working with people in Vallejo.
Yeah.
And seeing if we can make some people successful in what they do.
Yeah.
So
I love it. Get going on that podcast. It'll help.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe. I always love hearing about the international travel stories. If I could go back in time, I would totally do that. Okay. As a final, and then Katrine, let me know if you have a question, because you turned your camera on. I gotta ask you this question. It's an important one. Okay. I'm not giving you any context, Daryl, because I just want to ask you. Okay. And I'm going to unmute you again. $5 million cash, no questions asked, into your bank account, or complete fluency in 5 languages, and you get a pick. Which one are you taking?
Can I have 2?
No. All or none.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great dinner table conversation.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Gosh, that's a very interesting question. I think you got to give me 2. I know of 2 that I really learned to speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'll say Arabic. If you give me 2
then.
Arabic and Chinese.
Arabic and Mandarin. Yeah. It's such an interesting question though, but we'll get into it. We'll get into it more. But I asked that, and almost no one takes the 5 languages. Almost everyone takes the 5 million. I mean, straight up, like, they just all take it. But anyway, Katrine, you had a question. I think you probably asked April directly in the chat, because I didn't see it. Oh, here it is. I'm not a member yet, but I've been following ASF for years. Well, thank you for that. Appreciate that. Is it compatible with print on demand? What is Prodigy? Just out of curiosity.
Prodigy is it's a UK based business, but they have international sort of printing partners all over the globe.
Got it.
And I just wondered whether you guys had a partnership with them or one of their part of their network.
Well, I can't speak to whether or not it's part of their network. I'm not 100% certain if it is. We sort of flirted over the years with who we're going to pick as a European partner, and we just haven't gotten around to doing one yet. One of the interesting things that we have customers that do is if they're UK based, let's say, they'll just route their US based orders through our system, and then they'll route their international orders. They'll manually send it to whoever's doing their printing. But practically speaking, because you do get some weird VAT situations, right, and import duties here and there that's a little strange. But also too, because the print partners that we have are doing such volume, they're the Graphic Bay Photo on the West Coast, Graphic Dimension on the East Coast. They're both printing like $30 or $40 million a year, and what that does is it puts you in a situation where you get some pretty insane international shipping rates. And so a lot of cases, like, way cheaper than anyone could get off the street and then some. So a lot of times our customers are just dealing with it and putting the shipping charge on it, at least when their international orders go. But different for you being, are you UK based then, obviously?
Yeah, but the thing is that the plan is to be able to sell anywhere, because what Prodigy do is they do local fulfillment to the consumer. The reason we want to use them is because they have really strong ecological credentials.
Got it.
So, and that basically that our business is ecology of being, and that's the kind of the foundation of what we're doing. So we have to get that bit right, kind of thing.
For sure.
So I was just interested to see, because I think I did look into the Bay Photo and Graphic, but because the thing is, obviously with it being print on demand, we don't know when those orders are going to come in and how many.
No, absolutely.
That's the quantity.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think, it's the first I've heard of them, so I'll take a look, and I don't know if they could be partnered with either of those two guys. They're both huge printers in the United States, some of the biggest. I imagine if they would partner, they would do that. But the ecological concern, I'm curious, like I'm sure it comes up in the media types. I'm sure it comes up in the ink as well. It certainly comes up in a lot of the merch items. Like, a ton of our customers have the same sensitivities. Yeah.
They're they do like museum grade, like archive inks and sort of that quality of print.
Yeah.
So that's the other reason why we wanted to go with them.
Got it. But I'm sure it's 100% cotton, fair trade, sustainable. That. Yeah. I'll find out. I'll ask for you.
Okay, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thanks, Christine. Where in the UK are you? Just out of curiosity.
I'm in Scotland.
Nice.
Yeah.
My wife's father is Scottish, born in Cowdenbeath, which is a super rough town. He's a tough dude, which is
right.
Yeah. But I love Scotland. I've had great times. But anyway, okay.
I'm born and bred here all my life, but I don't have a Scottish accent because both my parents have strong English accents, so I missed out.
I'm actually going through that. So, quick side tangent, you guys, and I'll get back on track. So, my wife's dad was born in Cowdenbeath, just outside Edinburgh. So
Cowdenbeath. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
So my wife has her UK passport because he was born there, and now I'm going through the whole process to get the UK passport for both of my kids.
Oh.
As we speak, in process.
Good luck with that.
Oh, it's like £5,000 per application just to get some.
A minefield.
But still, to have two passports is a big deal, right?
Oh yeah. That's well worth having if you can achieve it.
My kids owe me one. That's what I'm saying. My kids owe me one. But okay, thank you. I'll find out and I'll email you back.
All right. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yep, my pleasure.
Okay.
All right. I think we'll leave it there. I'm running out of steam. Unless anyone's got a final question, we can leave it there. We are in the final week, you guys too. If you're like Daryl and you just found out about us, don't worry about us. We're not going anywhere. But if you're at all interested, you should definitely request a demo because we have a huge sale that is literally ending on Friday. And you can still get up running live, rolling, by then. So that's what I would say. Yeah, Daryl, you're starting to see a theme with me, right? Asking about the languages and asking about passports, right? Like if I can give my 2 kids the blessing of a passport, that would be huge. I tried on the language and it didn't pan out. So now they're in preschool. So I'm 0 for 1 on that, but I tried with my kiddos. I think it's just the power. I love traveling. All right, guys, I think we'll leave it there. Thanks for a great session today. Appreciate all of you guys hanging in there. And yeah, hope to see you on a future session. I'll email you the replay and all the links and everything else in short order. And everyone have a great rest of your day. See you guys later. All right, hold on. You got one question, Daryl. I saw you. I caught you right at the last second.
Thank you.
Yeah,
How can I get a link to come back? Because what happened is that the link wasn't
Daryl,
working.
do you have any idea how often we email? Do you have any idea how often you're going to see my Facebook ads now? I'm very good at marketing, my friend. You won't be able to escape me for like at least the next 60 days.
Okay, thank you.
You don't have to do anything. Sit back, put your feet up. Trust me, I will come get you.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks, John. I'll see you in the future.